and welcome to Blokes Unfiltered. Now, just a warning, if you're seeking professional help, then this is not a podcast for you. This is a podcast where we cut through the bullshit and get real about men's mental health, life as we know it, and the world we're living in today. There's no filters, there's no fluff, just real talk. We're Adam and Aaron, and we're just two blokes sitting around talking shit and having a laugh about everyday issues that affect us blokes, and everyone is too scared to talk about them. So if you're easily offended, I strongly suggest you switch off now. But if you're not, then grab a cold one, sit back and have a laugh with us.
Yeah, good mate. How are you? What's
Good,
been
another week's
cracking?
flown by, can't believe it.
Yeah, Christmas is coming soon, and the fat bloke with the white beard and the hat will be sliding down the chimney.
If you still believe in that stuff, yes, absolutely. It could
Uh,
happen. You've got younger kids, obviously.
yeah, no, I am Santa. So, oh, whoops, shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, we'll just turn all the kids' ears off on this one.
Yeah.
Are you calling yourself a fat bloke?
Well, I was just thinking that I don't have a white beard. I'm a little bit fat, but that's okay. It's not fat. It's a power belly.
Yeah. Be all right. If you're a runner, then you'd be in problem like myself. But if you're a weightlifter, then you can be fat, can't you?
Oh, I'm not sure it's called fat. It's a power belly.
I'm only going off what you said.
Yeah, no.
You're a fat bloke without a white beard.
It's going white.
Yeah, it's going great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper.
Cool. Hey, mate, I just wanted to ask you, what's your favorite number this week between 1 and 3?
2.
2, great, awesome. Because that's the
I'm just
only
keeping you
number
on your
between
toes.
1 and 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So judgment is the topic for today.
Okay.
Okay. And so I guess if we kick it off, where that would go is you're either a judger or you're a learner in life.
Yeah.
And so whenever you're in a situation, you're either judging it through your perspectives, your beliefs, your past history, and then you're spitting out communication or a judgment from that perspective.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a learner, you're not judging anything. You're just really inquisitive. So I guess to put some context around that, how we process information as we take it in through our visual, our auditory, and our kinesthetic. And then whatever it is, we make a movie about that because of our past beliefs, our values, our history, and things that have gone on for us. We make a movie about that and we spit out our version of reality.
Yeah.
So where judgment gets us unstuck is we don't believe in somebody else's version of reality, but yet it's real for them.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can't argue either way because they're still going to believe that they're right.
Yes. This is very true.
Okay. Right. So if you think back now in some of the situations that you would have been in, and this comes up all the time, right? Because people are constantly judging other people based on their own version of how life should be or how that person should behave or act.
Yeah.
So if you think back to any situations or friends that you know, where do you think judgment has got them in trouble?
Everywhere.
Like where though? Give me some examples.
I had something on the tip of my tongue, and I was just thinking. I was thinking about this the other day. Oh, it's with pretty much anything that you're instead of trying to understand, as you said, what the other person's thinking, you're basically trying to tell them what they're thinking is wrong, rather than trying to understand what they're thinking and why they're thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's now I can't think of one off the top of my head. You got me.
But think about it, right? So from a position of judgment, it's almost like a level of control. Would you not agree?
Yeah, 100%. And it's it's the old thing of, you're an adult, I'm an adult, and you shouldn't try and control how I behave, and I shouldn't control how you behave or try. The only thing that you control is how you spend your time.
Mm.
And with that, you're spending your time trying to learn and not judge.
Mm-hmm. And I'll give you some examples of things that have come up for me this week, especially in my client sessions, and where judgment plays a massive role in men's kind of mental health and where we go with it. And it's just a simple question that our partner might have asked. but it's where we go with it or where we take it, right? So, for example, a client of mine had been promising to do something for a long time. And in the background, he's going, I'm not sure I'm capable of doing that. I'm not sure I can do that. I don't know how to do it. It was a simple thing. It was just a simple thing like oiling a deck, right?
Yep.
And every time his missus or his wife asked him about it, it was in judgment of him. He
Yep.
felt,
Yep.
right? Because of the way she asked the question.
Yeah.
Are you ever going to do the deck? Are you ever going to get onto that? Are you ever going to do that? And it's just that constant barrage that you get from the other side. And it's not necessarily how they mean it. It's more about how we take it based on our own feelings and our own thoughts of ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're in judgment of ourselves. And now if somebody then chips at that, we then take it personally and we go down a different rabbit hole.
Yes. Yeah. And then you start creating stories in your own head.
Correct.
Then
Right.
then it's all about your movie.
Yeah. Right. And so that's from a place of we think somebody else is judging us, but they're actually not judging us. They're just making a comment. But because we judge ourselves so badly and we're so critical of ourselves, we then go down a different rabbit hole.
And do you think this is because of self-respect?
Well, it could come back to that. Absolutely. Self-respect.
Because if you were clear on yourself, would you be judging yourself?
Probably not. No. You
Hmm.
just send it, wouldn't you? You
Yeah,
just
you
get it
just
done. You just
fucking
get out there
send
and
it.
oil the deck.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it looks a bit fucked up. Oh, well, I'll do better next time.
Yeah.
It
And
can't.
it was really funny because the guy, when he did it, right, he felt so good about himself and he'd been putting it off for years, right? And he felt so good about it himself. And as a handyman came and visited him, right,
Yeah,
and said, wow, who did you deck?
yeah. Wow.
All right. And he went, I did. And he went, that's better than anything I could have ever done.
Yeah, right.
But for years, he's procrastinated over it, and his wife has chipped him about it, and he's gone down a different rabbit hole than probably what he should have, as opposed to just effing sending it, just getting out
Yeah,
there and doing it.
yeah. Because he's made a story up in his own head. He's judged himself, and he hasn't tried to learn about what his wife was actually saying or thinking, and he's
Mm,
making an assumption.
correct.
And that's that's the worst thing that you can do
Hmm.
with that sort of stuff. Or just anything really. It's anytime that you make a judgment uh, on somebody else, it's not up to you. It's not. It's got nothing to do with you.
No,
You should never try and, yeah, as I said, you should never try and control other people.
no. But, and here's the thing, they're actually probably not trying to control us, though.
No, definitely, no, they're probably not.
It's
And
it's our limitation or our thinking or our judgment of ourselves that controls us.
yeah, and that's different people use language differently without
Mm,
even understanding or knowing what they're saying. And different people receive different language, in different ways, where some person might be offended by you saying a certain word, another person might not be.
mm. I'll
Um,
give you an example there, right? If I was to say, why did you say that, Adam? How have you just taken that?
why did I say that?
Yeah, why did you say that?
Because I fucking wanted to.
See, right? It's because why is like a judgmental question, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probing.
Yeah, because it's like, why did you say that? Because I've got a better way of saying it, right? That's a judge. Like, you got to be really careful how you use the why
Yeah,
question.
because that's not learning. And I still would say that I struggle with this still. Um, the learning and the judging language,
Hmm.
even though I think I'm trying to learn, I use judging language.
Hmm.
I'm a work in progress on this.
And how does it go for you when you use the judgmental language?
Well, the judgmental language is normally used when you're in a place of, well, either if you don't know about it, you don't know about it, right?
Hmm.
Then you go to the next stage of, if you're using, once you know about it, you're using judgmental language. You're normally doing it, you're being reactive, right? Emotionally reactive at
Hmm.
some stage. And you're not gonna get anywhere by doing that. Whereas if you use, a learning mindset, not just learning language, but the learning mindset,
Yeah,
and
good
you
point.
completely change your perspective, what you're actually trying to get out of the situation, it puts you in a position where you're not going to react emotionally.
Hmm.
Um, which basically means you're not going to lose your shit. You're going to stay in control of yourself as you should because
Hmm.
you're an adult.
Hmm.
You're not going to throw the toys out of the pram, and you're going to get one of two reactions. You're going to be met by somebody who's willing to come to the table and have that kind of discussion with you, and get to an outcome that is valuable for everybody,
Hmm.
or you're going to be met with somebody who doesn't like being challenged, and they're going to spit it at you.
Hmm.
Um, and that's, where we do the classic Aaron phrase of, when you'd like to start behaving like an adult, let me know.
So we can have a conversation, you mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. If you can't jump on board, that's a you problem. That's not a me
Hmm.
problem.
Yeah. And so when you've calmed down, let's, come back and talk to me so we can have a civil conversation.
Yeah,
Or we can stand here and yell at each other. Absolutely.
but I think as well, just that whole thing, just for like your ongoing mindset. If you're judging, and I think like the word judging, I think it sort of made it confusing for me because you don't always feel like you're judging. You're just not learning.
Hmm.
You're not in that mindset where your learning mindset is you're like um legitimately trying to understand where they're coming from and why they're saying what they're saying. So
Hmm.
then once you understand that, you can go, oh, okay, well, I didn't realize that you looked at it like that or this, that, the other. Um, but if you're not doing that, you know, you may not be, you know, using language that's, like what you see is directly judging, like why would you do that? You
Hmm.
might not be, it might just be, I suppose the more I say it, yeah, I suppose it is judging. Like
Hmm.
I've got to, that's
And you're
stupid or
even judging your judging, right?
yeah, yeah. I told you I'm terrible at this.
See, you're not free flowing because you're judging on what you're saying, right? So you're being
Yeah,
quite measured on what you said, right?
yeah,
As opposed to just be free flowing what you want to say,
yeah,
right? And when you come from a complete learning perspective, there is no fear or judgment of what you're about to say is going to upset somebody.
yeah,
Because if it does, then you can just check in on what's happening for them.
yeah. Why did that upset you?
Well, there's a judgment question already, so
See, this is where but I'm trying to learn.
yeah, because if you say the word why, right, it's tonality as well on how you say it. So
Yeah,
if you go, why are you judging? Like, why are you saying that? Like, it's almost like you've got a better way of saying it.
yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
Why
So,
are you
and this
doing it
is,
that way, Adam?
yeah, this is the, yeah, can you please help me to understand?
Yeah. So can you tell me what's going on for you that made you respond like that?
Yeah,
Well, why you chose to, can you tell me what's going on for you that made you respond or choose to respond like that? I didn't choose that. You made me do it. No, I didn't make you do anything. I'm not inside your head. I'm not controlling you, right?
yeah.
I'm
Puppets.
just I'm just asking what's going on for you.
But I think, there's also behind this that people, it's one of those things that once you tell people this and they think you're fucking batshit crazy and you're
Hmm.
stupid for telling this, but you are in control of how you behave and how you respond to things. That's all in your control. And if you're angered by something, that's the choice that you've made.
Hmm.
And it's not the other person asking a question in a certain way, you
Hmm.
know, that's made you angry. You've decided to make yourself angry. And if you're at that stage where I used to be with that, and that's so ingrained in you that, this person said that and that made me angry or that made me pissed off. And now you've ruined my day, because you said this and you said that. Um, Once you realize that that's a choice and you've just had that behavior ingrained in you forever, um, it's something, it's quite a good thing to learn, and
Hmm.
the whole mindset of that, it's when you're pissed off by other people and what other people say or external things affect you adversely. um that wears down on you over time too.
Hmm.
It does. So once you get into, and you're trying to learn about stuff, it's just a whole different way of looking at things. And you're not holding on to, well, that person said that and that person said that. And what did they mean? What do you think they actually meant? Did you think they meant it like that? I can't believe they said like, and it's just a rabbit hole of, mental weight, that you carry around, and you have all this stuff in your head. Um, it's not a fun place to be.
No, and it gets worse, right?
Yeah, it does. As it
Always
spirals,
gets
it
worse because we
spirals.
don't default to positive.
No, you don't.
So, and there's a couple of examples that I'll give you, right? To just sort of to bring it home. You're a fairly big bloke compared to me, right? And you lift weights and you're quite strong. Yeah, giving you a stroke of your ego right now. But right, if you were to come at me previously when I was the person I was, if you were to come at me aggressively and like, have a go at me through
Yeah.
your judgment, right? I would have stood back up to you and I'm gone, yeah, fuck you, right? I'm going to absolutely go you. I have no problem with it. I don't care how big you are because I grew
Yeah.
up in New Zealand and I've been beaten up by Maoris all my life. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I'll bite your dick off. I'll get weird about it.
yeah, yeah, right. But it's because there's two gorillas now going at it, right? So, and we want to prove that we're manly or whatever. We want to win the argument. We want to win whatever. So it's two gorillas with an opinion going at each other, and they're not actually listening to each other,
No.
right? And so you'll think if I walk away, you'll think, yeah, great, I won that one. Yeah, he's awesome. Like, and I'll be walking away going, what a dickhead. So the argument and whatever it is that we were fighting about is still there.
But it's almost, yeah, 100%. It's almost like I don't know if this is correct or not, but I'm saying it anyway. It's almost like a young man's mentality, And I don't know whether it's as you're older, you settle down, or, it's just because you do the learning, but I'm sure there's still older blokes who still carry on like that. But what I would ask is, by what you think is a man, do you think that's how a man behaves? How a
Depending
man
who,
should
which man are you
behave?
talking about? Like, if you're talking about me or are you talking about other people?
Do
Because
you
I
think it's
can't control other
acceptable
people, right?
behavior? Do you think it's acceptable behavior for a man? And do you think you can call yourself a man if you react like that?
Absolutely not. I just think it's because there are issues that are going on for you. So therefore you then bring them out on others. So that's not fair, right?
No, it's not.
To
And
me,
if you,
and a human, let's not even say a man or a woman, right? Let's just say a human being has no right to go at somebody aggressively,
yeah,
right? Because
that's,
it's something that's triggered for them. It's not something that the other person's done. So to say a man, it's just being in control of yourself,
yeah,
right? Being in control of your emotions, being in control of who you are, being in control of your self-respect,
yes,
self-esteem, your
boundaries,
boundaries. Like it comes back to all of that stuff,
finances.
right? Yeah. And if
Yeah,
you're okay with who you are and who you're being, I can't remember. I mean, I must admit, I do have arguments with my family because you can't coach your family, right? But I haven't had an argument with a person outside of my family for a long time because I just don't enter into it.
yeah, but you also don't see the value in it either.
No.
Like it's not that when I suppose you see people as you know, you're sort of my type of person who, we got stuff in common. I talk to you, we deal with things in a similar fashion. Whereas if you meet someone who doesn't deal with stuff, it's just they're not your people,
Mhm.
and you just don't have time for it.
No, but even still, I mean, people do have their judgment of me and of you, and I'm okay with that, right? I sit there and go, okay, I'm okay with that. Let's see what's going on for you. Like I 100% agree that you might not like me. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. But what's going on for you? What is it that's triggering it for you? Like, let's get really inquisitive, right?
See,
And
this,
find out what's going on for them because it is a them problem. It's not a me problem because there's lots
yeah.
of people that like me.
But what about if you didn't want to get inquisitive about it, and you said, Adam, you're a piece of shit, you're a fuckwit, you're a this, you're that, and I just go, cool.
Awesome. Let's go.
That's a way of dealing with it as well, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it is. It is shutting it
Yeah,
completely down because where do you go after that, right?
yeah,
I'm looking for some sort of reaction. That's why I'm
yeah,
saying that,
yeah,
right? So I can feel like I've got everything off my chest. And I explained this to a client the other day. Imagine you talking at somebody now with all of your opinion. Just imagine you're just vomiting on that person. And he went, oh. I do that all the time. Right? I said, so imagine now if you're asking questions, you're actually not vomiting on somebody. Because anytime you're talking, you're giving your opinion, your values, your everything, right? It's just coming out.
Yeah.
But if you just ask questions, people will come up with the answer.
Yeah, and you can solve the thing that I've found with the question asking as well is once you get into that mindset, and it's not, I don't think like what we're talking about specifically applies to conversations.
Correct.
Um,
Or
but
challenging conversations. So we did talk about judgment, right? But it also leads to arguments.
yes, yeah, yeah, 100%. But I find it really useful with dealing with problems.
Mhm.
And now, any problem pretty much doesn't matter what it is. Well, I just figure it out. You sit there
Mhm.
and ask yourself questions.
Because you think
Yeah.
about it, right? If you were at work, right? And you were at work and you just went, there's a problem, and you judged the problem, and that's all you did. You judged the problem, and that's all you went. It's a problem, it's a
So if you
problem,
looked
it's a
at that and you
problem.
went, "That's fucked."
Yeah. Right? That's judgment, right? Now we
Yeah.
can't solve anything. It's just fucked, right? It's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So for example, like what you do leak detection, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you just went, oh no, fuck, you got water leak.
Yeah.
Right? But you go through a whole list of questions that you go through to find out where the water might be coming from.
Yeah.
But when we've got a challenge in our life, we tend to not ask the questions. We keep going down the rabbit hole. Oh my God, it's raining. There's going to be water leak. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. There's going to be this. They're going to,
My
and we go
house
to
is going to
worst case
fall down. I'm
scenario.
going to have termites. We're all going to get fucking asbestosis.
Correct.
I'm going to
Yeah.
have mold toxicity and
Yeah.
yeah.
And I explained this to somebody else the other day with another analogy, right? Imagine when you put your hand on a hot stove,
Yeah.
right?
That's a bad idea. Don't do
But do you keep it there or do you seek a resolution?
that. By taking it away.
By
Yeah.
taking it away, you seek
Yeah.
resolution, and then you go find something to alleviate the pain, right? Which would be water or ice or something like that. Not butter, because that just now burns, right? But back in the old days, it was butter, because obviously your parents want to hurt you more, right? Judgment. But we seek a resolution or a solution. But
Yeah.
when we're mentally challenged, we actually don't seek a solution. We keep our hand on the hot stove. We keep
Yeah.
burning it. And it gets worse and worse and worse. And now all of a sudden we've got to go to the doctor and we've got to go, and get pills and stuff like that because we decided to keep going down the same rabbit hole.
Yeah, because I don't know, if it's a wide thing, but I didn't know any better. And it was, the louder that you yell, you're going to win.
Hmm.
The more that you try and justify yourself, the more you're going to win, or the more I'm right, I'm right, I'm right,
Mm.
you're going to win,
But you don't
but you're
actually
not.
win. No one wins.
No, nobody wins. Neither person wins.
Mm. And I guess a solution for that, right? If you're seeking solution for this from judgment, right? If you were to agree with just 10 or 20% of what the person said and you acknowledged that,
Yeah.
right? Adam, I agree with what you just said then in terms of that you do yell a
Yeah.
lot. So what's going on for you that makes you yell a lot, right? Or I agree that I could cause problems for you to make you yell, right? And I could say things that are going to upset you, and I agree with that 100%. But what else is going on for you? Because it can't just be me,
Yeah.
right? So you've
Yep.
acknowledged, you've also been heard, you've been understood, and now we're asking, well, okay, what else is going on for you?
Yeah, I've had this conversation with someone recently,
Okay.
and the response I got was nothing. There's nothing else.
Okay, fantastic. So why nothing? What do you mean by that? Go
See, I
one
didn't ask.
question deeper, right? You got
Yeah,
to be
I didn't ask
curious
that
here.
question. I just went, "Oh, this is too fucking hard."
Right? You do. People do. It's too hard. I don't want. But there's always something underneath the layer, right? So we ask the
Yeah,
surface question, we don't get the answer we want. Nothing. Okay.
yeah,
By nothing, what do you mean?
yeah.
When you say
And also,
nothing, that's nothing at all, or just a little bit. Like,
this technique you can be seen to be a massive smart ass.
you
So
can be.
how far would you say that you go with that before it sort of loses its value?
Look, I think if you keep asking and you keep getting resistance, change the subject.
Yeah,
Right? If somebody clearly doesn't want to deal with it, then don't force them because there's something going on for them. and they're
Yeah.
not willing to share yet, which means you're not in rapport, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
and it's also, do you think that there's a part of that that's also, you can only help people who want to help themselves?
There could be. There's also those people that don't know what they need help with.
Yeah. Fair call.
Right? So, you say nothing. Like I'll give you that another story, right? Little Johnny comes home from school and he says, "Dad, everyone at school hates me." What? Everyone at school hates you? Oh, no, 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 just everyone in my class. What? Everyone in your class? No, 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 not everyone in my class, Dad. It's just all the girls. Well, even all the girls, even your teacher who's a woman. Oh, no, no, no. It's just, Linda who sits in front of me and she keeps like throwing things at me. Oh, okay. So what can we do about Linda?
Yeah.
Right? So we tend to generalize everything in life, right? Nothing's going on, nothing's a problem. Okay. So can I ask why you're so sad if nothing's a problem? Because right now you don't look like somebody who's really happy.
Yeah.
And if you're okay with where you're at, that's fine. I'm okay, but I just like to ask questions.
Yeah. I just like to know.
Yeah, I just want to know what's going on because my mission in life is to help as many people as I can. So, and if
Yeah.
you don't want to be helped, that's okay. I'm all good with that. You don't have
Yeah.
to answer my questions.
Yeah, but most people wouldn't have that response of, I'm just not going to answer your questions. They go, this guy's a fucking asshole with his probing questions, won't shut the fuck up.
And there's a judgment, right?
They're judging you now. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So can I just check in on your judgment of me for asking questions?
Yeah.
Just keep asking a question, right? Until you tell me to fuck off, and then I'll fuck off.
Yeah.
But it's I mean it's all sales techniques as well, right? So the people who's asking questions are in charge, are in control, right?
Yeah.
And I'll keep asking questions until you tell me to piss off or hang up on me.
But I think it's also a really valuable skill to have and to know about, because you can see when conversations start going a certain way, and you can, if somebody has a strategy and you can, you can understand better what somebody might be trying to do, or something like that.
But
But
you can also tell somebody who's genuinely interested, right? So I'm genuinely interested in the person that's sitting in front of me. I don't, for me, it's not even a game. It's just something I love finding out about, what's going
yeah,
on for you, right? So I'm genuinely, if you're just asking the question to ask the question, people will know,
yeah,
right? Especially if I'm asking the question, I'm looking at my phone trying to cover off what's the next question I should ask, or, if
shit, I
I'm just,
missed one.
yeah, right? But generally, you can ask a question based off what they say.
Yeah,
So what I'm hearing is, or what you said there is, if I got that right, now I'm in rapport with you,
yeah,
right? So when we talk about judgment and judgment of self, what we've got to start asking ourselves is better questions about ourselves.
yeah,
And this is the solution we were talking about, right? So the resolution of the hot stove, hand on the hot stove, and now we're seeking a resolution, which is cold, right?
yeah,
Because you can't have sadness without happiness. So there must be an opposite end of the scale.
yeah,
But what we do is we deflect to sadness
yeah,
because that's ingrained in us. Worst case scenario, go down the negative rabbit hole. Oh no, nothing. I can't ever get out of this on my own. But
yeah.
actually, you could if you just asked yourself a switching question, which is what
Yes.
is the opposite to what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. How can I make my situation better? What can I do to improve this?
Correct. And
What
you
can
do
I
it in
do?
work, you do it in your relationship, you do it with your kids. But when it comes to us, we don't ask.
No, no. We just sit there and go, you know what? I'll just have another beer. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll just put
I'm
another
fine.
beer down my neck
Yeah.
and just mask the
That's
problem.
yeah, just make it worse
Yeah.
over time.
And now we
And
start escaping with drugs and alcohol and all that sort of stuff, and we don't actually deal with reality.
no, and like I had not an incident or a run-in, but I had an experience a couple of weeks ago, um, where I had an older bloke who was running a job not be very happy with the things that I said.
Mhm.
And it's, you're out there doing a job. It is what it is, and in my line of work, annoying people's comes with the territory.
Mhm.
But he didn't like what I said, and he's so his social programming got him straight away. And he came at me, not
Mhm.
physically, But he started raising his voice the way that I would expect, a parent to raise their voice to a 14-year-old daughter who just snuck out,
Mm-hmm.
like the blood curdling
Mm.
scream. Um, and apart from my first thoughts of, yeah, people don't speak to me like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had the not nice thoughts. Anyway, after they went away,
Mm-hmm.
I felt sorry for him because there's a whole generation of blokes out there, generations probably, who, that's how their father reacted.
Correct.
So that's what they saw. So that's
Yep.
how they react, and they think that's how you resolve a situation. And you
Mm-hmm.
don't resolve anything like that. And the other thing is, you don't get respected either. Like and that was one of the first things that I thought when I got this reaction was like, you're fucking nearly 60 years old, mate. Like, pull your shit together. You're just coming off as an absolute fucking clown.
That was
Like,
a judgment, wasn't
yeah, it was.
it?
Um, but
But you
it's
were you were also in the background thinking, well, what's going on for him? You were sorry for him, right? But you were
of
judging him as
course, of
well.
course. But yeah, it's I think it's that is a large part of society. That's the norm, the
Hmm.
normal reaction, and it's super unhealthy. And this particular person spent the rest of the day pretty much having a tanty, And
Mm.
I just, when I see people like that now, and I see it in that headspace, I just like, that sucks.
Mm.
Like walking around like that all
Sucks to
day.
be you.
Yeah, yeah, but and just like then it turns into obsession, and it's the social programming of that's how blokes deal with things, or
Mm.
that's how well certain blokes deal with things.
Correct. And it's that kind of when you start using expletives, when you start raising your voice, it's all just to exert dominance on the person that's standing in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Generally, that's why you do it because the more you do it, the louder you become, the more the person might shy away and go and do what you said, or they'll just walk away and just go, oh, I'm out of here. I can't do this anymore.
But it's like that certain behaviors, like I compare them to advertising, right? So
Mhm.
why do people advertise? Why do they do the same advertising over and over? Because it works, right?
Yeah, it's
So
brainwashing.
yeah. So
Hmm.
if you're behaving like that, you're behaving like that because it works for you,
Hmm.
right? And that's why you do it. If it didn't work or work in some situations, you wouldn't do it. But it's it's like not only is it you look like a dick, but it's for yourself. It's really bad. And
Hmm.
if
But
you've got
okay, so but on the other hand, let's not judge the person that's doing it, right? Let's judge how we would react to it because that, or not even judge, but like let's work on how we would react or how we respond to that. Not react, we respond, right?
yeah,
To that because that's not helpful. He's gonna, that person will always be that,
yeah,
right? So it's like, well, what's next from that? It was how do we respond to somebody who's aggressively yelling and screaming at us, frothing at the mouth, right?
well, yeah, I think
And it
you've got a
comes
couple.
back to what I said, right?
Yeah, you've got a couple of options with that one too. Like, you know, the safest thing to do is just remove yourself from the situation and just get
Hmm.
away from there.
Hmm.
Um, you could go into your trying to learn, but
Hmm.
it might make it worse. So,
Hmm.
in
See,
situations,
here's where boundaries come in, right?
yeah,
Look, I agree that you're a very angry person right now, and I understand, kind
yeah,
of, right? Right? But what I won't accept is the way that you're actually speaking to me and raising your voice at me. I don't deal well with that, right? And when you're going to calm down and you want to have an adult conversation with me, then we can continue. But if you're going to continue to yell at me, I'm just going to keep going. Have you finished yet? Have you finished yet? Right? And
yeah,
if you want to belt me, that's fine. Right? If it makes you feel better, go for it.
yeah.
But right
I'm
now, we're not going to solve anything.
I was just trying to put that in across in a way that there are, some people in the world that, I shouldn't say some people, but there are people out there who aren't comfortable with people throwing punches at them.
Correct.
Um,
So then the opposite is true that you walk away, right? But you haven't exerted your boundaries. You haven't let somebody know that that's not acceptable behavior. So therefore they keep doing it because they get away with it.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, I would just say, hey, look, that's, the tone that you're using right now, the volume that you're speaking to me is just not acceptable in my book. I
Yeah.
agree that you're angry. I understand. Right.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get anything solved while you're yelling and screaming because I'm just switching off right now,
Yeah.
waiting for you to finish.
What if you're in this position, right? And you've got some bloke coming at you because you've made a blue and you've made a heap of mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the one to blame,
Yep,
you
absolutely
know?
100% agree that you'd be angry right now because I've made a shitload of mistakes. Like vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
Admitting that you're like, if well, you've got no right to be angry at me. Yes, I have because you made mistakes, right? But if I made mistakes, I'm going to put my hand up and say, yep, absolutely 100% agree that you could be really angry right now because I've made some mistakes and I've cost the company a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? Understand that you're really upset right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it value that you go away and calm down and then we have a conversation? Or do you want to continue on this? Because I'm not going to accept being yelled at the way you're going to yell at me.
Yeah.
Right. So it's enforcing your boundaries, understanding, yeah, you did make a mistake. Understand we're all going to make mistakes. That's how we learn.
Yeah.
Right. Everything in life is learned from a mistake.
The truest thing ever.
Yeah, you learn how to walk from falling over. It's a
Yeah.
mistake, right? Or or a failure, whatever you want to call it, right? But as
I
long as we're
believe in that
okay with
word.
it, if I'm not going to go back and go and try and hide it,
Yeah.
now there's a battle. But if I
Yeah.
agree with you, it's going to diffuse you.
Yeah.
100% agree that you're going to be really angry right now. I understand that, right? And I'm just like, because I know that you're angry. I know you've got a vent. You've got to get everything off your system, right?
Yeah.
But I want to know how we're going to sort it out, how we're going to move forward. Solution.
That's very good, Aaron.
Because you could yell and scream at me all you like, but we don't get a solution.
Yeah. But that I think the other thing that's worth mentioning is that takes a lot of practice to get to that point because I know from experience that you can do all the preparation that you like, and then once you get put in the actual hot seat, um, all this stuff goes out the window pretty quickly.
Correct. And it is a training, right? Because, natural defense mechanism is fight or flight, right? That's ingrained in us. We either,
Yeah.
imminent danger, we either fight or we run.
Yeah.
I'm just choosing to stand there and go, okay, I'm not doing either.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay neutral. I'm going to stay Switzerland in this.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Right?
it's all of this stuff is a skill. And I think
Correct.
that's what I think there's a misconception with the amount of work that actually goes into getting to that point of being able to um, learn, but you're not just saying you're learning. You're actually that's what you're doing.
I'm
Um,
practicing.
yeah. But it takes work. It takes time. And when I say time, it's years. It's
Hmm.
not, you do this stuff for, 10 minutes and you read a whole heap of stuff. It's great to be aware of it, but I think you also need to be aware of the fact that you're probably going to suck at it when you start. But as long as you just try and get better every time you do it, that's all you can ask, and then you keep growing from
All
that.
right, I've got a T-shirt that will help you with that. It's got L plates on it that says, "Be patient with me. I'm learning how to do life again." Right?
Oh, come on, I'm on my red peas by now.
I think you're on greens, but anyway, that's a judgment.
Yes.
And one of the things I just wanted to kind of finish up on, it's an interesting thing how we do judge ourselves on questions that are asked, right? And I said to somebody the other day, I said, when you're asked a question, you go into this whole long justification of answering the question. And I'll give you an example, right? So a client of mine, I said, so what came up for you this week? And he said, oh, my wife keeps asking me like, questions and I keep going different places with them. I said, I'll give you an example of a question. He said, she came to me and said, oh, you went for 2 walks today. Well, yeah, I think I'm allowed to. I've got my business up and running. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I've done this. I've done that. I've done that. She didn't even ask from judgment. She just asked you went for 2 walks. Just answer the question, mate. He went, oh, yeah, that's easy, isn't it? Like, yeah, I did. Because what we want to see is, well, what's the next question that's going to be asked after that before we justify, right? Because we've got no idea. We're assuming they're judging us or thinking that we shouldn't go for 2 walks, but it's only us. It's our guilty complex in us thinking we shouldn't go for a walk during the day because we should be working, right?
Yeah, you
So
scrap
my
that.
goal, or not my goal, is for anyone out there right now, if you're asked a question, just answer the question. So you went for 2 walks today? Yeah, I did. And then wait to see what the next question is before you go and answer the question for yourself.
How long were you at the pub for?
Yeah, 8 hours,
You spent how much money?
50, 100. Had to go on the pokies too,
And you think you're going back there with your mates next week?
probably.
Oh, okay. I guess I better book something into.
Because like and where we go into the whole justification. I mean, some of the justifications were like 3 minutes long. I've switched off. I just asked if you went for 2 walks. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, and but it's because we're judging ourselves and we've got our guilty complex.
Yeah, and we've got all
So
these stories in our own head that we've made up about, what we should be doing or we shouldn't be doing.
correct. What's right
And
and
what,
right. And for me, right, transitioning from being a tradie to a business coach, now working in an office, I felt like I had to sit at my office desk from 7 till 5. I couldn't go out during the day. I could have smoko. That was it, you know? And
yeah,
but I'd sit there some days and not even do anything, just be flicking through Facebook or whatever, because I had to sit at my desk for tradie hours.
yeah,
Right. I mean, now I've started going out for walks during the day and things like that. And I don't feel guilty, but in the beginning it was a transition.
yeah,
And my
it's,
wife would ask questions and I'd go, because I was judging myself.
yeah. What are you doing? Whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I guess to finish off with Adam, what would you say your learnings from today would be?
Um, to, you know, go through some of this stuff, looking into the learning and the questioning stuff and understanding that this stuff takes time and it's not going to be something that's, that happens overnight for us. And there is work in it. Um, and being in the judging headspace it's a stressful place to be.
Mhm.
It's not
Think
not
about
really.
this, right? How many, like if you're a tradie, how many days or how many hours do you put into learning how to be a very good tradie? Like it's a 4 year apprenticeship for a start, right?
It never stops.
No. And then you keep
It's
learning,
ongoing.
right? Well, same with mindset, but how often do you get taught how to train your mind?
Never,
How often do you take your mind to the gym?
never.
Mm.
Well, yeah, but
You
it's,
do.
yeah, but it's also, like what you're saying before about when we were mucking around asking those questions, it's feeling comfortable doing that because when you suggest this to people, you should sit down, you should write a list and you should do this and you should review it and all this sort of stuff. They look at you like, I can't do that. That's fucking gay. I'm not doing that.
Hmm. Oh, I'll come like as a smart ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends how you ask the question, though, right? If you ask it in a smart tone and you become annoying with it, yeah, you will become a smart ass, right? And you'll become annoying. But if you come from a genuine place of interest and you're
Yep.
in rapport with the person, they won't even know what you're doing.
Yep.
Right. I guess so. To finish off, awesome spending some time with you today, Adam. For me, it's really design or develop your switching question
Yep.
because you can keep going down the problem path or you can switch straight from problem to solution.
Yeah, that's a big
So,
one.
yeah, if you want to, if you want to seek resolution, what's the resolution or the solution for your problem, not what's the problem.
Yeah. How do I stop my hand from burning?
Correct. Yeah. I go and look for ice. I go and look for water, and we do it physically, right? If something's hurting us, we look for something, a band-aid if we're bleeding, right? Instantly, if we're bleeding, where's the band-aid? What can I stop the bleeding with, right? But we don't do it with our mindset. So it's the same thing. So it's to find that switching case. And I get that's the problem, but what's the solution? What am I going to do? What can I try? What can I put in place?
And you'll always find the solution. Sometimes it takes longer than others. And it doesn't matter how bad the problem is. There's
Correct.
no problem that cannot be solved without doing that. And it's once you learn how to use that tool, that's I think that's one of the best things that I've learned is
Mm.
because then you're not really affected by anything because the shit hits the fan and you have your initial thing of, oh, for fuck's sake, and then you go, all right, well, I'll just block out some time and we'll sit down and, we'll figure it out.
And we
And
do it for most things in our life. We just don't do it with our mind.
yeah, and the more you do it, the more confident you get with it too.
Because how easy is it for you to not answer a question?
Now pretty easy.
Yeah. But originally, right, our brain has to come up with the answer to a question because we're asked a question at school, we answer it. We're asked a question by our parents, we answer it. Like it's ingrained in us, right?
You have to be right. You have to be justified. You have
Correct.
to be.
So if you ask your brain a question, it's got to come up with the answer.
Yeah.
That's what it does. That's what it's ingrained to do. So why not turn it into a positive answer
Yeah.
rather than a negative?
And it's not like that's something that's not even fluffy bullshit. Like it legitimately works and it works amazingly. And once you start using that tool, you sit around and you're like, holy fuck, I've been able to do that forever and I didn't know about it.
Yeah. One of the funniest things and I'm going to finish on this, right? Because I could talk for hours on this subject and with you as well, especially, but is I always ask myself, how long am I prepared to sit in my pity party for? And I actually set a stopwatch and I say, right, I'm giving myself an hour. By that time, I've already laughed so much at myself that I'm like, oh, I'm out of
it. And then once you reflect on it, you're like, judging
it
yourself.
Wasn't that bad in the first place, right?
No. And we got through it, and it just, every time you do something like that, it's a learning, you're coming from a place of learning, and then it's a learning experience. Next time something happens, you're just going to be better prepared for it, and you get to the point where you're not really that fazed by much.
Yeah. All right, blokes, that's another episode gone, another week down. Hope you have a great week ahead. We're going to do the F and Send It this Friday, so make sure you look out for that. If you want us to talk about any specific topics, give us a couple of numbers that we can throw around. And we look forward to talking to you next week. See you, Adam. Have a good week.
You too, mate. I'll catch you later. Enjoy.
Thank you, mate.
See ya.
All right, blokes, that's a wrap for this episode of Blokes Unfiltered. Thanks for tuning in and joining the conversation. Remember, it's okay to talk about what's going on in your head, and there's no shame in reaching out for a bit of help when you need it. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow us on social media for updates and more no-nonsense discussions about life and mental health. Got a topic you want us to tackle? Drop us a line. We're here to listen and share. Stay strong, stay honest. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. This is Adam and Aaron signing off from Blokes Unfiltered. Today's podcast episode was proudly brought to you by Living Lux and the Skills for Life Academy.